Yeah, so I've kind of been bouncing around a little bit about this car with the comparison to the Mustang, and then I kind of got on the, message here to those that are on the Challenger product, saying, okay, well, you know what would be a good purchase for me? And I think that's really a great question, because you go buy a car these days, I mean, oh my gosh, it's incredible how, people are paying $100,000 for cars and trucks, and that's not like you go to a car dealership and it's like, yeah, we did that. I mean, it's nothing like out of the norm anymore for people to be spending $80,000, $90,000, $100,000. Yeah, ask me how I know. yeah. Am I one of those customers? Yeah, yikes, right? But do I keep them forever? No. So I never pay that type of money. I've had that conversation as well. You spend $100,000 a vehicle and you keep it, woo, yikes. For me, I'll drive it a few years, have my fun, and then let it go. So yeah, I didn't get that radical, but But anyways, so talking about what do you buy, and the 5.7 motor in these Challengers, that's a great motor. That's kind of your budget for the RT package. The RT package is more of a basic Challenger product, the SXT and all that other stuff, but I'm more really fixated on what I know about because I've owned them. And the 5.7, I had a 2014 Plum Crazy Challenger TA package, or the RT package actually, I'm sorry. 5.7, Hemi motor. You know what? That thing scooted down the road. And I was very impressed with that car at the time, back in 2014. And, as time progressed, of course I evolved to the SRT, 485 horsepower, 6.4 motor versus the 5.7 Hemi motor in the RT, package. And then, of course, I moved on to 707 Hellcat. And even after I bought my Hellcats, I always questioned myself: did I really need to spend all that money for the crazy 700 horsepower? I mean, when I was growing up, if you would have told me that one day they'd make a factory production, drivable, reliable 700 horsepower car, I'd have been like, I don't know how. That's crazy. That'd have been back in the 80s. But as we know, they now do that. 800 horsepower, yikes. Guys are modifying their cars to 900 to 1,000, yikes. So, yeah, your budget's a 5.7 Hemi, you're not going to be disappointed. That's going to be a fun Challenger. It's going to be a nice car. It's going to have a nice look to it. Now, is it going to be like as fast as the 392? No, it's not. And I was kind of even taken back. All right, now I got her in 6th gear. Like I was telling you earlier, here we're at 64 miles an hour, 65. We're at a measly 1,500 RPM. So you can just see that this definitely is the over-the-road car. It really is a great, it's a great touring car. It's a different vehicle. You can go to Florida in, you can go to California in. Now, going back to what I've talked about numerous times about this double-edged sword of this 392 6.4 motor is you get a lot of fun out of this vehicle, and I've voiced it in my other videos, the bang for the buck. For anybody out there, if you're not going to be taking your car to the track, do you really need that 700 horsepower? And of course, yes, I know all the guys out there that, yeah, I get it. I bought them. Who am I here to point the finger at, right? Besides myself. Yeah, I've owned them. But I can honestly tell you, after owning them, am I missing them big time? I'm not. Is this vehicle here, the 392 package, fun factor that I feel I'll get out of it, pretty equivalent? Yeah, it is. I'm not going to be smoking down the road like that Redeye did, but there's a danger in that too. You have to have incredible discipline driving these vehicles, and for a younger person, to be driving a 700, 800 horsepower car, you're just opening yourself up. Even older people, they know. it takes incredible discipline not to really air these cars out and get yourself in a lot of trouble, and ask me how I know, right? So, not here preaching to be the perfect person in the world. I'm just sharing with you that, man, hope God's on your side, whatever happens. Fortunately, God's been on my side. I ain't lying about that for what's happened in my life. I say my prayers and watch my prayer video, and you might get a little hint of how I feel about that. So, back to, we talked about the Redeye, the Hellcats, the wide body, the narrow body. For me, right now, on an open highway, if I had my eyes closed in the passenger seat, I really wouldn't be able to tell you whether I'm in my Redeye or if I'm in a 392 Scat Pack wide body package. I mean, I really wouldn't. It's the same car for the most part. And yes, I know the intercooler, chiller, there's other things suspension wise for the Redeye. There's a lot of different other components, but it's utilized for track use. It's not for this the daily, everyday, fun, free-spirited driving, car. And that's what I'm saying is, if you're a track guy, yeah, bang for the buck money, yeah, the Hellcat package setup is a good value. If you're not tracking the car, you're spending a lot of money for you to punch the gas pedal and get that, neck snap and that exhilaration and that smile on your face. And yeah, I mean, I get all that. I've done it. But at the same time, this 392 is not a slow car. And I know because I've run them, and I've been like, wow, that is really impressive. I've really been like, wow, that's impressive, for that vehicle to do what it did. As we continue down the road, now the traffic's getting heavier, and I continue to tell you my views and ideas. I think I'm going to turn my conversation off for a while and drive around a bit longer and kind of get some more ideas and more feel for the car and sum it all up and hopefully give you a nice video. All right, you seeing this right here? Yeah, this is where, better zoom out, right? Yeah, this is where the stick shifts get real old. And since I live in traffic, there's just no way, like when I buy a manual, and I have arguments with people about this. And it's like, oh my gosh, it's like, if you actually have to drive and stop and go traffic, you're telling me you want a manual transmission? I mean, you have no idea how many people have argued an hour of stop and go traffic. I think they even hate to admit that, yeah, that wasn't the best idea in the world. So for me, this is why I buy automatics, because I live in this DC metro area where the traffic just, foul language here, it sucks. It's just incredible. This is a Saturday. It is, what time? 1:30 basically, 1:29. And the DC Beltway is like you're in 5 o'clock traffic. All right, did a lot of driving today, and I'm having fun in my Gold Rush Scat Pack. I've been talking about it throughout the whole day, and I'm very fortunate to be able to have different cars and drive around in them. And in today's world, I would definitely say it'd be hard to say, well, I want one or the other to a degree, because each one has its pluses and each one has its minuses. I mean, for me, the pluses on this package that I bought, it has a really nice look to it, and it does have a nice, performance appeal to it. It does get down the road. You do get a lot of looks. I guess it's the color more than anything, right? But my daughter claims she gets looks at it all the time, which that's nice, because if anybody out there is a car nut, you buy your car and you take pride in enjoying it. You can only hope that others kind of, feel like, hey, you got a nice ride there. I really like what you got, and we all feel good about that, versus you buy the wrong car and people are like, yikes, And I'm sure some people look at this color paint and they probably do go, yikes. But, right now, for me, very happy with my purchase. And, as I was kind of saying earlier, it's like, hey, I let go of my Redeye, and that was heartbreaking to let go. But at the same time, I'm a true believer in life that, if things are meant to be for you in life, things will come full circle, things will come back. And if I really want another Redeye, I could definitely buy one if I wanted to. But, the Scat Pack, like I said, it's a double-edged sword. That's what I've been saying. That's the word of the day, the double-edged sword. The 392 gives you plenty of fun and plenty of power and plenty to get yourself in trouble. This car, I'm not going to even talk about what speeds this car does and just coast down the road. It's more than enough to get you in a lot of trouble. And so if you're not tracking this car, I don't know, man. I don't know why you have to go out and get the Hellcat, other than I get it. I had them. Hey, I got a Hellcat, which, yeah, badass car. If you got the budget, great, buy one. They're awesome. But at the same time, for your driving around the public roads, can you really ever use that car to its extreme? Yeah, you can, but if you get caught, doing what you're doing with it, it's going to be a nasty story. There's a lot of stories of guys buy his Hellcats and get themselves in trouble and even kill themselves. Unfortunately, just the other day in Detroit, 21-year-old kid stole a Redeye Hellcat and killed himself and critically injured his friend. Sad story, but stealing, that's not a good idea, is it? Hey, you hear that blinker? Boy, if that doesn't remind me of the 70s. Man almighty, 70s. That just totally reminds me of being a 1971, like, CUDA, a Challenger, just that very apparent blinker. And I'll turn it off because it kind of gets obnoxious. All right, kind of wrapping it up now. I kind of talked about the Mustang, the Camaro, more the Mustang, the Challenger, higher line product, Hellcat and all. And, and I'm sincere in this. Anybody out there that is thinking, hey, I have to have the Hellcat, if you're tracking it, go for it. And I'm just telling you, this Scat Pack 392 package is every bit my Wide-Eye, as far as the way it feels, the way it sounds. Now, sure, I'm not getting that supercharger sound, but the exhaust, the steering feel, the suspension feel, the brake feel, the confidence feel, it's every bit of my Redeye. So and maybe it helps somebody. It's like, I really don't want to spend $80,000, $90,000, but I really want a Hellcat. And I'd be like, if I was you, I'd spend $50,000, $55,000 and buy a nice Scat Pack. And these things are holding such great value. Hey, man, drive it for a while, and if you find a nice used Hellcat pop up down the road, then all right, go for it. 14 or 717, whatever the new number is for the Hellcat, non-Redeye. So not like, it's, trust me, and even on that conversation, I didn't even talk about how from a Redeye to a Hellcat, regular Hellcat, is it really worth all that more money? And, I have had them, and I'm going to tell you, yeah, the Redeye's faster, but is it radical? No way. It is not radical. Sure, it's faster, but it ain't radical. And everybody knows you can boost that 717 with a pulley and some other things if you want. You're going to be up at 780, 800 horsepower. So anyways, trying to wrap this up, and I'm going to have to